Hi, before we start this video, I'd just like to announce that the ADK Rock and Metal channel is going to be expanding into live music promotion, and we actually will be hosting our first three events this year at the 66 Bar in Cambridge, Southeast England. Please come on down if you can. We want to support the grassroots rock and metal bands. We want to find the best bands in England. And to start with, we will be hosting these events in the Cambridgeshire, Hertfordshire and Bedfordshire area. And who knows, we might even expand beyond that. So look out for some exciting news. And let me give you some information about the first three events that are in the roster.
The first event will take place on Thursday the 18th of July at the 66 Bar in Cambridge. Headliners will be Teller's Scribe, a Dickensian Gothic groove metal band. Of course, Dave is the drummer in this group. The support comes from Nomadic Rain, which of course is Andy's band, and the third band on the bill is going to be Debris, who play an interesting mix of gothic, grunge and even a bit of new metal. So come on down for the inaugural A.D.K. Presents live showcase. The second event will take place on Thursday the 25th of July. Again, that's at the 66 Bar, and this is going to be headlined by Cambridge progressive metalcore heroes Far From Refuge, who will also be launching the new EP, and support comes from the Hertfordshire death grind band Extreme Death Art and the Cambridge power metal meets groove metal act Hereward. The third show in the calendar takes place on Friday the 27th of September, and that's going to be headlined by the hard-rocking groove metal band Lowdown, with support coming from Struck Down, Broken Calling and Before the Sirens, and that takes place also at the 66 Bar in Cambridge. You can already pre-order your tickets, just go to the ADK Rock and Metal Facebook page and you'll see the link in there.
Okay, albums coming out Friday the 14th of June 2024. There are no EPs in this list actually for once. That's because I couldn't really find any to go on this list. So we're going to choose 10 albums that I think would be worth checking out. So let's start with number one, with a band that are highly rated, highly influential, and I just did not understand their last record and actually gave it a mediocre review. I'm talking about New Zealand extreme dissonant metal kings, Ulcerate, and they've got a new record coming out called Cutting the Throat of God. So their last album, Stare Into Death and Be Still, I remember awarding it 5 out of 10 for our sister organisation, Scream Blast Repeat. Could not understand it. It was just so abstract, so difficult to get into, but I guess I should have expected that, considering that this is a band that rely on using dissonance rather than melody, and they want to unsettle you. So this is album number 7 in their career. It's released via Debemer Morty Productions, and let's see if they can bring me back into the fold. It's probably a failing on my behalf that I just can't understand this music. I'm going to give it another go. The second choice, so we're going over to Norway, and it's a band called Sibir, and the album's called Untergang. And I believe these are a post-hardcore, post-metal band with a bit of melodic death metal in there. So the album Untergang comes out via Fushisk Records, which is one of Norway's premier experimental metal hardcore labels, and this is album number 3 and their first effort since 2019's Ropes LP. Number 3, let's go to something a bit more savage, blackened grindcore. It's a Canadian band called Apes, as in the primates, and the title of this record is Penitence, and it's released via Secret Swarm Records sophomore album. They're from Quebec, which is, of course, normally famous for technical death metal, and this is the complete opposite, blackened grindcore. Sounds fun. The fourth album, we're going to go to Spain and Death Doom, and it's an artist called Golgotha, and the album is called Spreading the Wings of Hope, which is an unusual title. Sounds overly optimistic for a Death Doom band. It's released via Ardua Music. This is a band that were formed in 1992, and this is their 6th album, so clearly not the most prolific band. Should we use that cliche, life gets in the way? It's difficult being an artist, isn't it? But they were around in the golden era of the music industry. certainly in the 1990s. Just on a side note, this features the drummer from another band we've covered on this channel called Sol Negre, and Dave especially is a fan of that band and enjoyed their album last year. Next record, the artist is called Downfall of Mankind. The album is called Purgatory, and they're a progressive deathcore band from Portugal, and they released their album via Seek and Strike. It's their sophomore effort and follow-up to 2022's Vile Birth. This is a band that are approved by Matt Heafy of Trivium and the PR company. I've been making that known in circles because that's one of the things that they're promoting this artist with. Progressive deathcore sounds interesting, so that's what grabbed my attention. Let's move back to Norway and an album from an artist called Dream Slain, and it's called Forge of Rebellion, their LP. Progressive metal, self-released. This is their second album. They started out, I believe, as a traditional hard rock heavy metal band, and they seem to have evolved into more of a prog metal entity. They're a three-piece, probably a bit like Dream Theater, I'm guessing, if you start off as heavy metal and you go in a prog direction. Or maybe Threshold, one of England's most underrated bands. It might sound like that. Who knows? The whole point is I'm going to check it out, and so should you. So Dream Slain, Forge of Rebellion. And we're moving away from Europe now for the next choice, Malaysia. The band is called Shamash, not to be confused with Shamash, that great Swiss avant-garde black metal band. No, this Malaysian artist are called Shamash, and the album's called Done With Misery. Rottweiler Records, so we know that's a Christian metal label. So this is black and power metal with Christian themes. Rottweiler Records is only signs bands of a high standard. I do tend to enjoy most artists that they put out, so that's why we've added these Malaysians onto this list. Number 8, Desolat from Austria. That's the name of the group. The album's called Get Sick and Let Me Watch You Die. That sounds fun, doesn't it? They describe their music as noise rock, sludge metal, and this sophomore album comes out via Reptilian Records. Number 9, Italy, symphonic black metal, Dark End. They're back with album number 5 and their first in 5 years via Time to Kill Records, and the new LP is called Viaticum. We need a black metal record on here, don't we? And one that's symphonic means it will be pompous and hopefully monumental, and one assumes malevolent as well. So that's one that I certainly will give the time of day to. And I always try to end this on a big name, or certainly an album that everyone's looking forward to. And I'm going to end this with the Brooklyn solo artist, Julie Christmas. She's putting out a new album called Ridiculous and Full of Blood. Post-metal, experimental, folk. I know her as a vocalist on Cult of Luna's 2016 Mariner album. She's also in the supergroup Spylocopa with Greg Puciato of Dillinger Escape Plan and members of Isis and Candiria. And I do recall that her 2010 debut solo album, The Bad Wife, was a critical success as well. So this is why I've put her on last on this list. It's the one I'm most looking forward to, and I haven't given her the time of day. I haven't listened to her music. Now's a good chance for me to come in. So the last recommendation on this list is the Brooklyn solo artist Julie Christmas, who many of you will know from the noise rock and post-metal scenes of the late 90s and early 2000s.